Hi everybody. That bell that you just heard is the way that Robin lets me know it's time for her to get up. There's a little button behind her head here that she pushes and it turns on a doorbell. So now it's time to get her up. Just want to show you what we have to do. And don't worry, she's got clothes on. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of her feeding tube first and get that out of the way. Just have to turn off her machine. She uses the feeding during the night to help give her some nutrition that she doesn't get during the daytime. So I'm turning off the machine and disconnecting the tube and then setting it aside so I can disregard the feeding bag later. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and deflate the cuff that is in her throat, in her trachea. It's attached to this blue tube. I take this small syringe, I attach it to it, and then I pull the air out of it. And you will see her cough and gag a little bit, which is her normal reflex as the cuff inside of her throat gets smaller. So don't be alarmed by that, she's fine. I'm going to turn off the vent. I'm taking the vent off now so you can see the trach. Connecting, and now I'm pulling out the air from her cuff. And as I said, the look on her face looks like she's going through a lot of pain, but actually that's just as if somebody were to stick something down your throat. Now I'm going to sit her up. And we're going to do a few pounds on her back. Just like cystic fibrosis. We just like to do this. I don't know how many people actually do it, but we do it. I cup my hands and just give her a bunch of good repetition. And now I get her up. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer her to her portable chair, or her transport chair. And usually in the morning she does require some suctioning. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the suctioning machine, get rid of anything that might be loose in there now. And again, her facial expressions make her look like she's in pain or very uncomfortable, and really it's just the same as if somebody kind of stuck something down your throat. You probably gag a little bit too. So good. Ready? Potty time. You can't watch. Okay, so now that we're done with the potty, I'm going to go ahead and transfer her to her wheelchair. Make sure that she's singing all the way back. and comfortable. Tends to drool a little bit sometimes before we get her sitting upright. So now I'll go ahead and get her chair so that she's comfortable. Probably can hear her gasping a little bit right now. It's because she needs suctioning. So I'm going to go ahead and do that first. Sometimes we do it in the morning right away and sometimes we don't. It just depends on if she's how congested she might be. The suctioning is one of the hardest things out in public to do, because at least for us, we're kind of really aware of the people that are around us, and sometimes that noise that you heard is a little on the gross side, and you know, especially if we're in a restaurant or something, we don't really want to gross people out, but then again, we don't have any choice. So the next thing we're going to do, she's all set. Do you need your blanket? Which one? Red one? White one? Go ahead and get her covered up. Get her comfortable. Put her legs up on the pads. Normally I would place her computer in front of her, but then you wouldn't see her beautiful face while we do this. So I'm going to leave her computer over here for right now. But normally what we do is we set that up and then she can talk to all of you on Facebook. But we're going to leave that off to the side right now. Go ahead and get her trach mask put on so that she can do her breathing treatment. And this again is just to help loosen up all the gunk and stuff that is sitting in the base of her lungs, especially because, you remember, ALS patients don't breathe like you and I do. And they can't cough, or at least those ALS patients in this situation can't cough. So we kind of have to do it for her. So we're going to give her a breathing treatment first. Get that going. And this is an albuterol mix. I don't know what the other ingredient is that's in it. Isopropyl something or other. But again, it's just to loosen up. Bromide. Isopropyl something bromide. Let that go for a little bit. Usually while she's doing that, I am getting the solution ready and the materials ready to clean her trach and her trach tube, which I will do after she finishes her breathing treatment and we do a cough assist treatment. But please, just because we're doing it this way doesn't mean everybody does it this way. I'm sure everybody has their own way of their own morning routine, and we're just sharing this with you because we just feel it's important, and we have no problem sharing our lives with anybody out there, the ALS community and whatnot. All I do for the cleaning solution for the actual trach tube is I just use a hand soap and water every day. Some of the other materials that we use after we do the cough assist, I will use, I know there's a name for this, I think it's French, I have no idea, but I hook it up to the suction machine and then I use it down below the trach to get rid of any mucus and whatnot that is stuck under there after I take off the cloth that's around there. And then I will clean it with some Q-tips and dry it. We like to use this this protective ointment. It's a lot of times what they use for patients that have wounds near urine-y type areas, but we use it up here just to help protect that area. And then of course I'll put another drain gauze or drain sponge underneath that one, and then I will pull her trach tube out, clean it, and put it back in. So you're going to see all this. Something else to add is you probably just noticed, and I'm sure there are those of you that are in the same situation, you learn to read lips very well. She can't speak, and right now her computer's not hooked up, so she can't talk to me in that computer monotone voice. So I have to try and read her lips and figure out what she's trying to tell me. I'm also over here getting her morning medication ready that I will give to her through her feeding tube. Say hi to my son Chase. Okay, so now the breathing treatment's done. Go ahead and take this off, turn the machine off. You probably can't hear it right now, but she has some gurgling going on from the breathing treatment. So we're going to hook up the suction machine, turn on the cough assist. The cough assist machine mimics how us normal people cough. It actually forces air in and then pulls air out to cause a cough effect. She wants me to suction her first. And that was probably not a bad idea because she had a lot of mucus in there right now, and this would have just pulled that into the tube. So now we're going to do the cough assist. And again, remember the face that she's going to give you. This isn't painful for her. This is a little discomfort. But remember, it's forcing air in and then pulling air out, causing a coughing to start, or a coughing mechanism to be switched on. So we should be okay with that. Turn off both of these machines. And now we're going to go ahead and start with the cleaning of the trach area and the trach tube. First things first, I had to make sure that I sanitized my hands. You gender take the dressing off, and then I like to pull up anything that might be under there. As I said, the next thing I like to do is to take this suction thing and just go under there and see if there's anything that I left. Sometimes there's a lot, sometimes like today there's hardly any. Like to use Q-tips. I dip them in the soapy water and again clean the area around the trach. So after we finish cleaning this, then we take a dab of this protective cream and rub it in down underneath there. And then we replace the drain sponge or the drain gauze. I believe that that's primarily there for some secretions that may come up. So she wants to have some suctioning before I take out the actual cannula. Like to keep the end of our suction tube covered with a glove just to help with, keep it cleaner. Now I'm going to take out her cannula. There's nothing more than a tube that goes in, and it's covered with gunk. I'm going to put it in here and let it soak for a few minutes in that soap solution that I mixed up earlier. Since she had the larger peg tube or feeding tube put in it, we have been administering her medication this way, as well as some other things. Take, for example, a glass of wine, maybe a little shot of some type of whiskey or something. Yeah, she says no, but she knows that yes, we have. And then, of course, I follow her meds up with a bottle of water to keep her hydrated. After this, we're pretty much done for this part of it. We then will eat breakfast, usually a couple muffins or some yogurt or some oatmeal, anything like that. So again, we appreciate you watching. We are doing this just to make people aware of what at least we go through. This is our daily routine every day. Usually doesn't move from it. And as you can see, she's quite the trooper, and she may not be smiling right now. Come on, give him a smile. See, that's the Robin smile that you know. But we'll try and do a few more of these, again, to let people in and let people know what's going on. So we're done. She's decided she's had enough water. Otherwise, she's going to start to pee. So again, thank you for watching, and feel free to send us any feedback. Oh, I forgot about the cannula. So I scrubbed the inside and outside of the cannula. Get rid of all the goop that's in there. Rinse it. And I just rinse it in plain hot water. We originally had the replaceable ones in the very beginning. And I didn't think I would like the one that you have to clean every day. But actually I do. And you know, it works out. I usually clean it in the morning. I'll look at it in the afternoon, and then usually before she goes to bed, I'll clean it one more time and put it back in. So now, just before we stopped recording, she started to have a really bad episode with the mucus, and it almost, I mean, it sounds like a gurgling or a bubbling. But remember, you know, at least in her position that she's in, she can't cough that up on her own. So just wanted to give you a shot of that also. Well, there it is, everybody. That is our morning routine, and again, we just wanted to share it with you, let people know at least what we go through during the first 45 minutes after Robin gets up. Let us know if you have any comments or questions. And as my wife is known to say, she is living with ALS, not dying. Hashtag LND, living, not dying. Take care, everybody. See ya.